iRacing has added a lot of new special events this year. I didn't expect them to change the calendar so much, but they've added and changed quite a few events for 2025. In this video, I'll show you all the cool new races taking place this year. First up is a new charity event for this year, organised by Dale Jr. This is the Dale Jr. Driven to Give 400. This is a 400 lap race in the mini stocks at Iowa Speedway, and the kicker is it's a team event. You can team up with your friends and do driver swaps in this event. Should be about 3 hours, I think, and the idea is to raise some charity for Dale Jr. Foundation. That's not required to enter the race by any means, but it may be fun to get involved and try and raise a bit of money while racing as well. A unique event, driver swap oval race, one not to be missed. This event is taking place from Wednesday, January 29th to Sunday, February 2nd. On May 30th to June 1st, we have the 4 hours at Thruxton. This is a new endurance race featuring the TCR cars, so the Hyundai Elantra and Veloster, the Honda Civic, and the Audi RS3. And it's at Thruxton, a relatively new track just in the most recent build, which is a proper touring car track. Most well-known series races there in real life is the BTCC, not the same cars as TCR, but nonetheless touring cars. So this is going to be a very interesting event. A all TCR endurance race is something new. There's not really any sort of race like that. The only place you can do driver swaps in TCR normally is the Nürburgring Endurance Championship. So this will be something new, and it should be quite fun. Definitely a chaotic one at a track like this. From Wednesday, July 2nd to Monday, July 7th, we have the Firecracker 400. This replicates the real-life Firecracker 400, which I think now is the Coke Zero Sugar 400 at Daytona. That's the second Daytona race of the year, the shorter one, 400 miles instead of 500, it's only 160 laps. And this utilizes the 1987 NASCAR cars, so much like the name suggests, this is the old Daytona race. This is going to be using the Legacy Daytona as well, so in theory, that's slightly closer to the version in 1987, with all the bumps that Legacy Daytona has in iRacing. It's cool to see another special event using older cars. We've had the Road America 500, this will be the second year in a row for that race running, but this will be the second sort of classic content race, which is cool. There's a lot of fans of cars like this, and they don't get the events that maybe they deserve, so it'll be interesting to see another classic content race. Which brings us to our next entry on this list, the Portimão 1000. Now these cars aren't as old. This will be the HBD LMP2 and the GT1 and GT2 cars, and it's a 1,000 kilometer race at Portimão. Simple as that. This sort of harks back to sort of European Le Mans series races. Perhaps it would have just been the Le Mans series back then. So old LMP2, old GT cars, and a bit different to the usual IMSA style multi-class sports car special events that we have on the calendar. This is going back a bit, it's a bit older cars, so I'm happy to see that. I love my endurance racing, so this is a kind of interesting one. I never raced the HPD in its period, so I'll be happy to give that one a go in a bigger race like this. This race takes place from Friday, August 15th to Sunday, August 17th. Next up is the Suzuka 1000 kilometers. This is replacing the Fuji 8 hour, or rather going back to being Suzuka. I remember this event used to be a Suzuka race, changed to Fuji, and now it's going back to Suzuka with a new 1000 kilometer format. I believe it was still 8 hours before. I might be wrong though. Maybe it was 10 hours actually. Either way, this one matches the current format in real life of the SRO IGTC race, which is a 1000 kilometer race at Suzuka, and it's just GT3 cars, which is not the most interesting thing in the world, but I'm personally happy to see it go back to Suzuka. Not really a big fan of driving Fuji personally. I know people are probably going to hate me for that, but I'm much more keen to run this event myself in Suzuka than at Fuji, so I know people are going to complain at me in the comments below for that. This event takes place from Friday, November 14th to Sunday, November 16th. Those are all the new events. There's also a few events that are returning that are relatively new and could be seen as being experimental by iRacing, but they have decided to bring them back. Most notably for me, the MX-500 at Martinsville. 500 laps around Martinsville in MX-5s. That's ridiculous. It was so long. And it's back. they're doing it again. I'm happy about that. I enjoyed the chaos. I enjoyed the ridiculousness. I'm glad iRacing have let us give it another go, despite how silly it is. The production car challenge also returns, and it's currently listed as being at VIR again on the special events website. So that I thought might change track each time it ran, but no, it looks like it's going to be VIR Grand Course every time. So that's going to become a feature of the calendar. Also, it's a minor thing, but the Indy 500 was a bit of a late addition to the calendar last year with the license returning, but the Indy 500 fixed and open setup are now on separate weeks again. So the open setup is a week before the real Indy 500, and the fixed setup is a week before that. So 1 week you'll have the fixed setup in iRacing, 1 week you'll have the open setup in iRacing, and then the next week you have the real Indy 500 on TV. So that's back to normal, and if you want to run fixed and open and focus on them separately, the qualifying procedure and all of that, then you can again, unlike last year where it was all a bit chaotic and all the slots were intertwined. That's gone back to the usual 2022 and previous for the Indy 500 format. That's everything new on the 2025 iRacing special events calendar. Obviously all the usual things are still there. Daytona 24 has already happened, Sebring 12, Bathurst 12, they're coming up, Nürburgring 24 and Spa 24 later in the year. All the usual suspects are on there, but I wanted to highlight these fun new additions because I'm looking forward to them. Let me know in the comments below what special event you are most looking forward to in 2025, and I'll see you on the track.